Alright, so this is going to be a quick guide on how to install the newest hacker tool and how to use them. So I've made a video tutorial a few months ago on the old hacker tool, but since then I've developed a newer version which has a bunch of more features and stuff you just want to have to practice on WWHD. So I'm going to show you how to install them and then how to use them. First thing is if you are on tiramisu or on stock, you want to install the newest custom firmware, which is Aroma. So we'll go on this website, WWHD Guide, and this will install Aroma. If you already have Aroma, you can skip this step. But yeah, those new hacker tools won't work with tiramisu. Okay, so you just follow out all that. It's pretty basic stuff. You need an SD card for this, but yeah. All the way until the finalizing setup step, which you can choose to follow if you want. But alright, once you've done that, you're gonna want to download both the hacker and the Aroma plugin. Okay, so those are going to be linked in the description, but you want to download this exe file and this WPS file. I've downloaded both and put them on my desktop right here. So this is my SD card, the one that's going to go into the Wii U. From the Aroma setup, you will have this Wii U folder. You want to open that and then go into environments. And then you may not have all that. You just want to go into Aroma and then into plugins. And you might not have all those plugins, but you'll have basic stuff like Aroma based plugin and stuff like that. I would recommend having at least FTPU, which is the FTP plugin for the Wii U. It's fine if you don't have it. I would really recommend having it. And then you have a bunch of other plugins you can have. So for those that were using the InputYour on Wii U, it's not compatible with Aroma, but that's okay because I have my own version of it, which I'm going to link in the description. So same thing, it's a WPS file. You also have this Windows exe, which is just open joystick display, which I'm going to show you later on. But for now, we'll just concentrate on the hacker. So get all those plugins, all the plugins you want into this folder. So this is TCP-Gecko, and then I also have the network input server plugin, which is for the InputYour. Okay. So once you've done all that, you want to unplug your SD card from the computer. And then we'll plug it back into our Wii U. Alright, and so once we've done this, we can start the Wii U. And it's gonna be on this projector thingy. Okay, so I'm gonna launch the hacker so I can see what it looks like. For now, we're just waiting for the Wii U to start up. And what I want to do once the Wii U is started is to press the L button at D-pad and select, which will open this plugin config menu. So you want to make sure that you have the TCP-Gecko plugin enabled. If it's disabled, you want to press X and look at if it's disabled, so just re-enable it. Okay, but if it's in this config menu, then good. You want to go into the FTPU plugin. So you don't need the FTPU plugin, but you want to go into here to get the IP address from your Wii U. If you can get it from somewhere else, that's also fine. So this is my IP address, so I'm gonna copy that into this text box right here. So 137. Yours is gonna be different. It's still fine. Okay, but now we can close this out, and before connecting, you need to go into Wind Waker. So any version of the game will work just fine. You can even launch it on the randomizer. For this tutorial, I'm gonna launch the American version. Okay, so one really cool thing about Aroma is the language changer. So right here, I could change the language to be in Spanish for past text on speedruns. I'm gonna keep it in English. Okay, once the game has launched, you can click on connect, which will hopefully connect us to the Wii U. So if everything ungrays, that means it's working. And now we can actually go and try out those hacker tools. So let's just start a file. Oops, I disconnected it. Okay, so I'm gonna go through all of the settings that you can use because this is an all-in-one tool. So there is a bunch. So this is the main features tab. You have basic stuff like soft reset or reload map. Reset collision is if you use one of those cheats. So if you change your collision, you can reset it. But yeah. So those tabs are storage related. So storage, remove storage, stuff like that. Storage is the glitch from SD, which is very powerful. You can enable it on HD, but yeah. So chest storage gives you this weird collision where you can kind of walk into the walls and stuff. Can be good to practice random strats, which uses chest storage a lot. And then door console is basically your nut clip cheat. So you can walk through any collision. If you have a really steep wall, you might just climb it, but yeah. In general, door cancel would just make you clip through anything. Then this is pretty self-explanatory. Same for this stuff. Okay, well, maybe angle, speed, maybe all that might need to be touched on. Angle just kind of sets Link's angle. This is pretty much for very precise tricks or research. So let's say I want the angle 32,000. It's gonna tell me all the way here. And I can also fetch it from the game. So let's say I wanted this specific angle. I can fetch it and restore it whenever. So really useful. Same for speed. You can get positive speed, so 24,000. Okay. You can also get negative speed, which is very important. Most stuff in the game will be done with negative speed, like swimming. So very cool to practice. Okay, speed angle is basically where Link is going with all his speed. So setting that to let's say, well, let's fetch it from the game. Okay, so this is because I have negative speed. This is very much for people who knows what they're doing. If you don't, I would not recommend changing that. But yeah. Then, so this is all position stuff. So to teleport for very specific positioning. Like that, I want to practice a trick. I can just teleport. And then store position and restore position is basically the same thing, but you don't need to keep those enabled. And you'll see later on that you can also use macros on your gamepad. Okay. So speaking of macros, we'll go into the myth features now. And this is the big stuff, the stuff that TCP Gecko on Aroma enables for. So those are all macros. You can map buttons to specific actions. So those are the default macros. And so if I press one of those buttons, let's say D-pad left, you'll see in my top left corner that it says door cancel. And that means that door cancel is enabled. So I can go through the walls. And you have stuff like Reveal Magic, which uses R plus the master key button, which is right here. By default, it's set to DR, so I need to press DR plus R. So yeah, very useful. One of the most useful things is levitate macro, which, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can basically levitate. And also the super swim macro, which gives you a bunch of speed. So I can press it a bunch to go to windfall, for example. So all of those macros are pretty self-explanatory. You have change wind direction, which, well, it changes the wind direction. You also have, for some of those macro, the ability to change, for example, the height. So if I wanted to go a bit lower using my levitate button, let's say 40. Now I go a little bit lower when moving up. Let's say I want to put this to 20 to just show the difference. Now I don't even levitate, so let's put it to 36. You need to change what's selected for it to apply. This will be fixed. At 36, I'm not gaining a lot of speed. And now let's put it to 100. I'm gonna go crazy. Alright, so same for speed. Speed is pretty self-explanatory. So this button changes how you gain speed. That's mostly for swim uses. So if you wanted to practice a swim, you can basically give you a bunch of negative speed using this macro. And then for specific case uses, you can press ZL to gain positive speed, which will make Link go forward and not backwards, like that. Okay, so a bunch of stuff here. Those are pretty self-explanatory. Save and reload position are directly linked to those two buttons. So yeah, if that's something useful, I can press D-pad right plus the master key and go D-pad left plus master key to teleport with the angle sword. So if I go with this angle, I'll end up with this angle. Okay, so those two buttons disable macros when posed. Pretty self-explanatory. You can't macro while posed. If I disable it, I can levitate during pose, which can be awkward. And then position restoring accurate. This is basically for some height dependent position restore that can sometimes clip you out of bounds. So if you ever find yourself clipping out of bounds from teleporting somewhere, just check that. One of the places I know that does that is actually Wind Temple. Okay, I went. So all the way here. Going on those little step right here. Is this a spot? No, it's not. So okay, levitate. It's not working. Okay, it is. My bad. Yeah. Up here you can practice early Wind Temple. But if I try and store position and then I fail the trick, so I get all the way here, let's say, and I don't use accurate position restoring, sometimes I will clip out into the water. So to make sure this does not happen, just check that checkbox and it should not happen. You have some bit of lag going for that. Okay, well, you have some bit of lag, but that's fine. Okay, so display macro you use on screen is basically this thing on the top left. If I uncheck that, it won't show it. Then you have the infinite cheats, so pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. So then those flags, this is pretty important. So cutscenes in this game use two animation sets. So some early game cutscene might crash if you come in with anim set 2. Those are all the cutscenes all the way up to Palmer cutscene from Forsaken Fortress 2. So you can change that using those buttons, and then give tunic and remove tunic, self-explanatory. If I click that, you'll notice that Link still has his tunic, and that's fine. I just need to go into the loading zone to update it. So now he doesn't have it. Okay. Alright, so the last thing on this tab is frame advance. I can pause the game and advance it by frames. So very useful for practicing frame perfect stuff, finding stuff, frame perfect, etc. Okay, so that's pretty much everything for this tab. I haven't touched on that main files. I'm gonna explain that later. Okay, so data viewer, pretty self-explanatory. It shows data. So it shows buttons that I press, stick. So those values are pretty accurate. Stuff like that. Those are all coordinates, Link's angle, and then the speed. So you mostly want to look at the potential speed for tricks. But yeah, pretty useful for practicing door clip, for example, FF2, which needs a pretty specific amount of speed. It's something like 24,000. So you can just look at your potential speed and guess from that. Okay, current stage displays the stage infos. Pretty useful if you want to teleport to it. So in the main features, you have this teleport tab, which works using that. So I can trigger the load, and it's going to respawn me right here at Gale Island with this entrance. So yeah. Okay, detach the viewer is the same thing, but in a different window, and I'm gonna keep that open so that we can have that too. Okay, advanced, you mostly don't want to touch it, except if you know what you're doing. So you can pick some memory addresses. So let's say x 1000 one something. Actually, I don't know how much this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Yeah. So you can look up those memory addresses in game if you know what you're doing, of course. And you can also peek and poke those addresses. I'm not going to explain that. That's for nerd. If you're a nerd, you know how that works. If not, don't touch it. It's not useful. Okay, items manager. Pretty useful. Basically, I'm going to check out other updates. You can give yourself stuff that you don't have. So let's say I want the hookshot, which I don't have. I can give it to myself, and I have hookshot. So all that you can hover onto to see what it is if you aren't sure. It should also be pretty self-explanatory though. Yeah, power bracelets, for example. Let's give myself hero charm. That again, funny, it doesn't work. I need to check that, whatever. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. And then heart container, well, it's the heart container, so let's give myself 20 hearts. And use the macro, or I guess I already have 20 hearts, my bad. Okay, key counters work in dungeon. So if you're in a dungeon, you can set the keys to a specific amount. Let's go into interval, give myself a lot of keys. Pretty cool. 100 is really a lot for hovering. Alright, I'm the wind temple now. I can give myself 2 keys, and I have 2 keys. Perfect. So 225 max bombs and arrows gives you the max amount of bombs and arrows for in the game. So it's gonna display as 25. Wait, what's the macro? Yeah, okay. Let's give myself. Oops. Okay, yeah, it's because of the auto update. You want to uncheck that. It lags a lot, and also it messes up with cheats. So okay. Now I've replenished all my arrows with the rifle arrow and bombs button. I used the macros for that. You have a macro right here. But with 225 max bombs and arrows, I have now 25 bombs and arrows, and that's just because the counter doesn't know how to display them. But yeah, you can have 225 of the two. 80 times magic, pretty self-explanatory. You have a lot of magic. So it's gonna display like that. It's kind of broken, but it does have a lot of magic capacity. So yeah. And then give all songs gives all songs. You cannot see the bottom screen, but I have all the songs. All right. Before talking about mail files, I'm going to talk about the teleporter. So this tab is very useful. You can basically click any island to teleport to it. So now I'm at DRC. If you right click on an island, so let's say DRC, I can see all the entrances that DRC has. So let's say I wanted to go into the dungeon. No, I mean, and yeah, so this works for all of the maps. So this advanced feature, if someone gives you room and spawn ID and maybe layer to go to a specific place, this is useful. So this loads different rooms in dungeon, for example. So let's say I go into room 5 of DRC. It's gonna spawn me nowhere because room 5 does not exist apparently. Okay, so this is why it's advanced. You don't want to mess with that and accidentally crash. It's fine though. I'm just gonna restart Wind Waker. And I don't actually need Wind Waker to show you other features in this tab. So favorites opens your favorites. So how do you set up a favorites? Well, you go right here into here, into for example Dragon Roost, right click. Then you can get Dragon Roost Cavern as your favorite by right clicking on it. So you can enter the name. I'm gonna name in that tutorial. Alright, and now tutorial is on my favorite list, and I can also right click it to remove it. Okay, so favorites uses this advanced tab to save the room ID and spawn ID and layer. So leave them at 0 if you're unsure. Alright, and last thing is the custom favorites. So this is basically the same thing, but a bit more advanced like that. Alright, so you can also display Link on the map if he's in the sea. So right now I'm in Dragon Roost Cavern, or I guess that's not true because I'm not connected. Right now I'm in Wind Temple, but if I go into, let's say, Windfall, it's gonna display Link at Windfall. And if I go very fast with super speed, I have this little display of Link going around. So very cool if you don't have the map tab to use that. Okay. So last thing is the main files manager, which is maybe the most useful feature of this whole pack. So you'll notice that you have two windows, the main files and the save files. So the save files just replaces your saves with other saves. So I have a bunch of save files for all dungeons right here. I just crashed because I'm stupid. My bad. I love crashing because I do stuff that I should not be doing. You should not crash often with this tool. And just reconnect it. But yeah, whilst I'm at it, you can open the save files directory and then go back a step to see your config file if that's something you want to share. This contains the favorites, so if you have some specific favorites you want to share, go ahead and share this config file. Alright, but we are back in Wind Waker. So actually, let me showcase this. Okay, so if I load this save file, so you see that it has 3 names. After getting neighbors, enter 2TG and bow. Now my save file will have, so after getting neighbors right here, enter 2TG right here, and bow right here. Okay, so very useful for practicing, but what's more useful than save files and the main files? So right here I have the old dungeons main files, which you can go and download, and this link, which I've put in the description. So you go here and do code, download zip file. And this going to be giving you this AD folder that has all of those main files. So you can go into the open main file folder button, which will open this folder. You'll probably have nothing. So downloading that as a zip file. You can go and track the all tensions folder into that. Okay, so now you'll have the AD dropdown. So this is basically all the states of the run, of the AD run. And I can load anything I want. So let's say TOTG mini boss, right after getting, or right before getting bow, I can load that. And it's gonna load. It might be kind of funky for some of those. And it's gonna load right into this mini boss. Alright, and let's say I want to go to FF2. I just load the mem file, and I'm in FF2, right where you would begin FF2. So mem files are pretty good because they save the location too. So, for example, ET second Songstone clip, which newer setup were found pretty recently, I can just go here and practice that. So killing those kisses, which kind of messed me up right here. Okay, but you get the point. So very useful. Right now there's only old dungeons, but I'm gonna show you how to create your own main files, which might be useful for practicing something else about old dungeons. So first off, this temporary main files, you can use this to just save some from mem files on the hacker. Stuff if you don't save or anything. So yeah, like that. Okay, you can also delete mem files you do, but that's not very important. Let's just create a new mem file. So you want to create a new folder in the mem file folder. Let's create the test folder. And now we are going to create a mem file over this test folder. So I'm going to click that. And I have the option to restore the position. I can also just load the room and not care about the position. I'm going to name this Earth Temple. Room that is full. Okay, it did not go into the test folder. Let's just put it manually. That's fine. Yeah. Now it's in the test folder. So I can create another one. Okay, it's not wanting to go into the test folder for some reason. This should not be the case. Okay, now you just need to select the folder before printing it. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, now we can load the main file as usual. Alright. I can also delete main files. So I'm actually going to delete this test folder. I don't need it. You cannot delete folder. You can do individual main files, but not folders. Alright. I think that's pretty much it for the hacker. So now I'm going to showcase another thing, which is the Open Joystick Display program. So if you downloaded this, where is it? Network input server, you also downloaded this zip file, which contains Open Joystick Display, which is very useful for. I'm not going to download that. I already have it. So this displays the inputs in a cool UI. So let me pull it up. Open joystick display. Right here. So this is what it looks like. Oops, that's not nice. Displaying on OBS for some reason. Get out. So when you start Open Joystick Display, it's gonna be not on Wii U, the theme. You wanna go into theme and go into Wii U. Now in styles, this is what it looks like when Open Joystick Display is enabled. So we'll see that later. And you also want to go into profile mapping and put a Nintendo Switch hacked. For now, it's the same as the Switch. Okay. And then profile input driver, you want to set network. And same thing, type in your IP address. So I'm actually going to use the network input server plugin to see that. Alright, so this address, 137 as usual. And I can, instead of hitting reconnect, I can hit reload to connect it to the Wii U. And it says right here, OJD connected. Okay, so if I now press buttons on my Wii U, as you can see, it's actually displaying on my computer. And I can also use the chroma key to do some chroma color on OBS. So right here I have it on green so that I can display it using some chroma keys. So if I press escape so that it minimizes it, or I guess put it in broadcast mode. It's just a very simple window with all green, so I can use it as a chroma key, and I have it on OBS. So very cool to record a tutorial, stuff like that. That's basically it for both programs. I'm pretty sure I've gone through everything. Let me know if you have questions. I'm available on the Wind Waker HD Discord, which is going to be in the description. I'm also pretty active in the Wind Waker HD rando community. And of course, you can also leave comments on both the GitHub and YouTube. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for me. I hope this video was useful, and yeah, I'll see you